Hey guys, do my skincare routine with me while I talk about what I go over with my seniors during our senior meetings. After we go over graduation requirements, I ask them what their plans are after graduation. So let's just say I have a kid who's wanting to do the traditional 4-year university route. Since it's September and we're getting into them now, first thing I'm usually asking is like, have you applied already? And like if they say no and like, they're still looking, they don't know what they want to study, anything like that, I just ask them, okay, well, if they're looking for, if they still don't know what they want to study, I ask them what their interests are. If we need to do like a career interest inventory, we'll do that. Get them to kind of review some careers that they might be interested in so they can find a program, school, yada, yada. So then we're talking about building that college list. And first thing I ask them is like, well, what do you want your college experience to look like? Like, do you want to go to a big school? Do you want to go to a small school? Do you want to go far? Do you want to stay in state? And then I ask them that part, especially because here in Georgia, we have the Hope Scholarship, and that's for in-state tuition for all of our students who apply to 4-year programs to schools in Georgia. Then I asked them, okay, well, let's actually use Big Future a lot. Big Future is a really good one-stop shop for a college search, and it allows students to look through lists of colleges and filter them based on like what their preferences are, like what's the most important to them, which is the conversation that we're having. So if I'm able to, right, like if I don't have a million things to do, we'll sit there, we'll go through the list together, narrow it down to a decent amount of schools, and I'm like, all right, go ahead and start applying. Once we're done going over like which colleges they're gonna apply to, I help them with deadlines, have them pay attention to SAT and ACT dates, and I actually always tell them, give yourself like a month between the deadline of whatever school and taking that SAT or ACT just in case their scores take a little bit longer to come back. So I don't want anything to happen and they miss like a document deadline, which is usually like 2 weeks after, but still, like, just to err on the safe side, that's what I do. After we go over colleges that they're applying to, I ask them if there's any questions that they have. We go over all of the graduation plans that are like upcoming for seniors if we have them available. Ordering caps and gowns, any other senior events. Gotta let this dry for a little bit. Any other senior events. What else are we talking about? Finding scholarships. Oh my goodness. Such a big thing, huge deal for a lot of my students. So I try to give them some help on where to find scholarships. We talk about financial aid, the Hope Scholarship requirements, all of that stuff, because I know, being able to pay for school is just as important as figuring out which school you're going to. We go over letters of recommendation if they're required by the school. I let them know that we prefer to get them 2 weeks in advance before any deadline. Obviously, the earlier the better, just so we can make sure we get it in on time, because I know I have a ton of stuff, usually about the time that they ask, a ton of stuff going on, a ton of seniors asking. So I'm like, the earlier I know that I have to write a letter of recommendation, the better. If I have a student who's wanting to go into the military, I ask them if they've already been in touch with a recruiter. Have they discussed it with their family members? And did they take their family member with them when they met with the recruiter? Because while it's their decision, it does still affect the family, and making sure their family, they're like their immediate family, like mom, parent, guardian, making sure the family is aware of their decision is the best way to communicate with them going forward in case anything comes up where a recruiter is asking to meet with them during school hours or anything like that. And then finally, I open it up for questions. Anything that they want to go back over, talk about a little bit more in depth. I just leave that open for them and let them guide that conversation. I actually live for these conversations because I think that the transition into adulthood is just so important, which is why I love being a high school counselor. Like, I live for the post graduation talk. It's my favorite thing to do with them because I just love seeing, their interest in like what they're wanting to pursue once they're done with high school. Like, where are you heading after this? And even for my students who are like still a little unsure about what they want to do, I love having the senior meeting because it kind of helps them figure out like, okay, like I need to kind of kick it into gear a little bit. Because like while we start in the fall, some colleges have later deadlines, which gives them like a little bit more wiggle room. But the earlier they start to figure out their next steps, the better. So they're not rushing around like next semester trying to deal with all the graduation stuff, senior stuff. All right, well, I'm all done. Good night, guys. See ya.